All right, guys. It's another night. Sorry, I'm a little late. Had a couple of issues going on. Tonight's topic, but wait. Let me slow it down. I would like to give a shout out to Miss Shayla Edwards, from GAG. She is one of the women that are out making moves and doing things in the community. She was also the one that sent me the survey today for people to get involved and you get a gift card with garments, binders, and tucks. There's a doctor that needs research on that. But she is the main woman that if you actually still are interested in that survey, you need to get with. That's Shayla Edwards from GAG. And also Carson. I keep it's Graham. Bro, if I'm saying it wrong, I apologize. He's also a trans guy out there who's doing big things in the community. His financial literacy, finance wealth, um, Zoom, Zoom meeting, page, group is fantastic. So if you ever want to learn about finance or financial wealth, hit up Carson. All right, tonight's topic, it's probably one of my favorites. I'm not even gonna lie. I can't even believe I came up with the topic. Um, and hopefully I get my three ladies in it. I'm waiting for them now to see if they want to join. Oh, here you go. Here's one. And also, if any other ladies would like to join, please let me know if you would like to join this one. This topic. In case one of the ladies don't show up.
Oh, why is my camera so dirty? Hi,
What's up?
how are you?
I'm fine. Are you rejoining my live tonight?
I hopefully if the store don't get busy, but yeah.
Did you see the topics for tonight?
I didn't see the topics, but last night was very intriguing. So I was like, I want to be a part of this. This is very interesting. And my good sister Alexis was on there last night.
Yes, she was.
And she's a very intellectual and intelligent young lady. So I said, okay.
I'm gonna try to keep it short tonight because I know last night it went pretty long. I think we hit about maybe 2 hours. So this time I'm trying to cut it down for at least an hour. So I'm just waiting right there for everybody to get in the room and join. Who's gonna be up here? And I think Miss Alexis might come back. Hopefully.
It's her. I was telling her like just listening to her last night. Because we have such a great bond, and we have this thing. And I was just listening to her last night, and I was like, I inboxed her and I told her, I said, this is your calling, because you could just tell the passion that she had for what she was saying last night. I definitely think it's her calling.
Yes. So can you tell me a little about yourself, your name and where you're from?
Well, my name is Akila. Well, I do pageants, so you have the everyday me, which is Akila, and then you have the pageant me, which is Akila L'Oreal Michelson. I'm from Jackson, Mississippi, but I was in Atlanta for 3 years, and now I'm in Memphis. Um, I've written a book actually. Um,
Okay.
yeah, so I'm a published author. I've done a lot of activist work within the community for as far as trans activism, and also AIDS and HIV activism. I'm real big on um, depression. I'm real big on all that kind of stuff. The mental.
Hmm.
I'm real big on that because I know what it's like. Trust me. I mean, I came from a family that wasn't accepting. I've been in some terrible relationships. I just know what it feels like to have to rebuild yourself mentally. I'm in a very safe and healthy place in my life now. So I'm grateful for that. Let me put this other headpiece thing in. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, no, you. Okay, but yeah, I'm just excited. I'm excited to learn. I'm always willing to learn new things. I'm always willing to voice my opinion. I'm one of those people that truly believe that, you know, I'm not always right. I can always learn. There's always room for learning.
Yeah.
So,
But one thing for sure, I wish I would have started this around Mental Awareness Month, because that's something that's really big in the community, and we really need to talk about it more. I personally lost one of my best friends, um, to suicide after he found out he was positive. And
I'm
one
gonna
of the
take you with
things
me, okay?
uh that's one of the biggest reasons why I got into advocacy work. Okay, I'm still
Give
waiting
me
for my
two
three
gloves,
ladies to
two
show up.
gloves.
Um, but while we're in it right now, how about we do a little icebreaker? Is anyone out there want to voice their opinions on trans LGBTQ, as far as it goes in Hollywood? How do you
Ooh.
feel about cis straight people playing the roles of gays and trans individuals? And anybody can call in and voice their opinion if they like.
So, give me 1 second. So I do feel that we live in a society that I don't think we're quite ready. And when I say we, I mean with America. We live in a society that's not ready to accept our greatness.
Hey
Um,
y'all.
Hi,
Hi
blessings to
everybody.
you.
How y'all doing?
We're doing pretty good.
I'm Akasha. It's a pleasure to meet y'all.
Nice to
You
meet
as well, Akasha. I'm Akila.
Oh, I love that name. Don't I know you, don't I? Well, I know of you.
I've heard your name before as well. That cheese is gonna end it. I need it. Oh, well, you
Hi
should have told me.
Denise. How are ya?
you. Hey, sorry, can you let everybody know who you are in case the people didn't see you yesterday?
Trying to bring this camera in just right. I try not to give too much today. I hope y'all like it. Just like my grandma used to do. You know what I'm saying? Hey.
I was waiting for Miss Alexis to come back on. Um,
So today's
she's not here.
topics.
Yeah, I was doing a little icebreaker, and the icebreaker was, how do you feel about cisgender people playing the roles of trans and LGBTQ people in movies,
Thank
individuals in
you.
movies?
It's called catfish. Why do you want to see somebody who didn't go through the struggle go through the struggle?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you want to
Okay.
see somebody go through the struggle? There was something, I think I remember there was something where they had a trans girl. Not It wasn't a trans girl, but that's what used to be okay on TV. A real trans girl wasn't okay, but Candace came. She was actually one of the first to be in film. Um, Candace Kane. She was in Sex City or something Sex. It was an ABC show, or Channel 7. I'm not sure which one is Channel 7. She was one of the first, and she played next to a high quality actor, a high standard actor. The show didn't really last so long, but it did debut her as a trans woman playing a, a trans woman. I'm a cisgender man in love with a trans woman. Um, that's the first epic time that I ever saw anybody. And this doesn't get that enough merit for she has done. Tula,
Yep,
yes, Tula. She was from the James
Throw them two
Bond
away.
movie. She was definitely one of the first. Yes, yes, the James Bond girl, and she did interviews and everything, like on a Tonight Show with David Letterman, I think it was, or whatever. She actually was out, and she was kind of quietly dissipated. Nobody ever talked about trans women back then, but trans women were back then too. So and I always tell people there's a website called Lynn Conway. I had to educate myself back in the day because there wasn't a lot of us around for representation.
yep. She got fired when they found out she was trans.
Yeah, but the movie was already made. The movie was already made.
I
She
just
was a
go ahead.
post-op trans woman. It was you can't do nothing now. She's legend. She's iconic. Wait. She's a pioneer.
That's the
Um,
word.
and but there's a website called Lynn Conway. They actually made it a college site now. It's like a .gov site. It's a factual site with trans women who've actually been around since the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s that have not been recognized, and they've been in movies, music, all types of stuff from all over the world. I educated myself on hormonal treatment. Yes, on hormonal treatment from this website, Lynn Conway. She's actually the person who invented the internet, and a lot of people don't know that. She is, it's a wonderful website that you could find out all information about hormonal treatment, about sex changes, about politics, about trans families. And I notice a lot of people don't know about her, but she's epically one of the first to document and show. And I'm probably going to just put the link inside of the in this interview, because I think a lot of people should know that website to have an understanding of oneself, you know. But cisgender people playing trans roles is a negative for me. It's a chop. We have to be
I
comfortable.
think
We have to be comfortable
situation.
saying chop.
I think it's gonna be one of those situations that we're gonna have to. Well, I'm not gonna say it's fair for us to have to deal with it, but I think we're gonna have to deal with it until America is ready to openly accept the fact that we are just as talented, as gifted, as intellectual as the rest of the world. But right now, they're putting a hold on us and telling us that we're not good enough to play our own roles because
We're not
um
actors and actresses.
there you go.
Dominique, aka Tyra, she has came a long way. That show that she did, the gods of something, I forget the name of it, but she has come a long way. I gotta say that I am very happy for her, and she does have a lot of experience acting at this point, but we do need more, as
So
well
it
as Angelica Ross.
uh-huh.
She's been acting for a very long time, and she's actually a wonderful actress. Uh, Trace, what the face icon from New York, from out here. She's a great actress. It's just that they're going unnoticed, and they have long resume. Trace has a very long resume. American Gods, correct. Trace has a long resume for years since we've been young. It's just never been recognized. And right now,
So
I feel like she should be at a pivotal point in her career where she's no Angelica. Yes, Angelica's a sweetheart. Angelica has played some intense roles when she was younger. Before, what is that show called again? Please, everybody, forgive me if I forget what the shows are. It's called Pose. She has an extensive resume before Pose. Now, here's something I want to throw up, and I don't want to be mean, but My name is Akasha, and I do as I want. Um, the young lady, and I'm gonna call her young lady, the one who played in Pose. What is her name? The one who played the mother of
Mike,
the.
Blanca.
Is it Bianca?
Blanca. I mean, her real
MJ.
name is MJ Rodriguez,
MJ
something like
Rodriguez.
that. Hmm.
Am I incorrect? But MJ is not trans.
She's trans.
I was made aware that she plays trans, but she's not trans.
No, because she won an award. And they introduced her as the first trans woman to win that particular award. I want to say that she is trans.
That's what they said, but is that what she is? Because there was
I
a
have to
big
research it.
controversy when she did win that. I was told that she actually is not trans, that she's comfortable being cis male. And the thing about it is that she actually dresses up as the role of trans in order to make money. For me, that was very offensive.
I think she's. I'm gonna research that because I really want to say that she is trans because I remember her. She had an interview or something where when she had her mom and her dad, and they was talking about how. Hold on, who is this? She had a female role and she was a mother on the show on American Horror Story, but she is trans. I think she is. I think she is. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. Trust me.
Because I did some research with her and she's done some musicals and it was after the fact, but she was male. She had a male image. She had a male image, but she has a feminine voice. And it was weird. I saw one where she was dressed in all male attire just before the show, and she was comfortable, but she has a very feminine voice.
Mm-hmm.
But transitioning wise, it was like she wasn't taking on. It was like a non-binary role. Like I will say it's a controversial type of situation because to be considered transsexual, as we were talking yesterday, transsexual, non-binary are two different things.
That's true.
We have gone through a very difficult struggle. Has she gone through the hormonal? When she got that award, did she take hormones? Was she on HRT? Was she?
She has,
Okay.
Got her breast done?
Yeah.
She did. So she's trans now.
And I was just about to speak on that too. If she started off not trans, I'm definitely sure that she is now. Like, I don't know if the money or whatever made her change her mindset. But she definitely identifies as trans now.
does
Non-binary could get surgery.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, non-binary could get surgeries at any time.
Mm-hmm.
They could get every surgery.
Yeah, they can. They still call themselves non-binary.
And
yeah.
So one thing that I had wanted to mention, I didn't want to cut you off when you were speaking at first. But one thing that I want to say is I was talking to one of my gay kids the other day, and we was talking about just society in abroad, and we was talking about how we live in a society, right, that is so we have 1 million followers but no leaders. So I think when it comes to Hollywood or movies or those roles, I think we're placed in a position where it takes certain people to accept. Like when Dominique stepped in and played the role in Pose, when MJ played her role, it took for them to step in and everybody to say, because had anybody said, "Oh no, we don't want this on TV. We don't want this," they would have blocked it out. They would have shut it down because that's the society we live in. But because it was such a hit and everybody was like, "Oh my God, I want to watch it. I want to watch it. I want to watch it." It became big. So now roles are opening up because if I'm not mistaken, MJ Rodriguez just got another role on the latest series of American Horror Story with Kim Kardashian. So now roles are opening. At first they were shut to us, but now they're slowly opening up because America is forced to let us in. It's not going to happen overnight, so we're not going to get those important roles. But I think now we're in a position where people are saying, "Hey, we can't shut them out too long because the world is falling in love with them."
So
Mm.
y'all don't think Miss Fox opened up the doors for anybody?
Fox. Give me a Fox.
Who?
Orange is the New Black. What's her name? Miss.
Oh, I know exactly what
Oh,
you're
you
talking
mean
about.
Laverne?
Yeah, Laverne.
I think that she did pave the way, but I don't think people. Prime example. That's almost like saying the world that we live in is fucked up, because the exact same thing that Laverne did is the same thing that Amaya Scott did, but because Amaya Scott has the look, she was more accepted.
And I want to say something about that. Laverne Cox has been trying for a very long time. She's been in entertainment for a long time. Okay, aka sister. You know what I'm saying? We hang around in the same circles and stuff like that. She was a performer.
Y'all got it.
She was a lip sync performer, and she's been trying very hard. And I remember when she was on. A lot of people don't remember when she used to be on. When she was on, I Want to Be P Diddy's assistant or something like that. P Diddy, and he treated her like trash. He treated her like a cisgendered man. He made her go through the ups and downs. Made her even wear a man's suit. As if you want to be my assistant, you have to dress like this in it, and you could see the way that it broke her. But the next role that she took on, besides
Orange is the New Black.
no, there was another role that she took on after that, because it was a dating show for Penelope, which was a redheaded trans woman, and it was something about it was like gay. It was similar to Gay Makeover. Like I said, I don't remember these shows, but it was a makeover show that she also had with Penelope or Pineapple, one of those trans woman, red hair. She was on a dating show. They created this little 3 thing. Nobody ever acknowledges these small shows that she's actually been doing for a very long time. But then when she got Orange is the New Black, that was controversial. Some girls did not like the fact that she even took that role, or felt that she was actually a part of the transgender community for doing that. The problem was that it showed transgender women in a bad light. Somebody stole, her character was stealing somebody's credit card, getting a sex change without HRT, the whole 9, all that other stuff and everything, and ending up in prison right after her sex change.
I actually seen a couple of girls do that in real life though.
I think
Still
one of the
never.
issues that I have, also is that Hollywood has a weird way of presenting us the way they want to present us, and it's not fair, because I have to tell people all the time, like I'm the manager of a store that has a variety of different type of people, and I have to explain to them my story as a trans woman is not somebody else's story. So we can't put us all in one bubble and think that that's just all trans people, because it's not. But Hollywood will find the worst of the worst of them, and throw them on TV. Yeah, and throw them on TV and say, "Hey, this is what we accepting." And I'm like, no, that's not what we accepting, because no offense, like I have friends who works in the business, the night business. But I tell my workers all the time, that's not everybody's story.
It's not.
I'm a general manager at a store, so I'm not knocking anybody else. Your struggle is your struggle. My struggle is my struggle. But I hate when people.
She frozen?
Yeah.
I think she's frozen. But I also wanted to say, even though it's you still got to remember the fact it's Hollywood, and not only are they putting trans in the bad light, but you also got to remember they're putting black trans in the bad light. I mean,
And
it's with black period.
And the way that they made Laverne the prime example of a lot of negative connotation is the problem that I have, but she's shined through now. But she had to take those roles. We have to commend her. She had to take those roles in order for us to be able to play other roles.
Yeah.
She had to play a straight man who had a family, who stole a credit card, somebody's information and got a sex change when they got the, not even HRT, just went somewhere and got a sex change and ended up in prison. But regardless of anything, if she didn't play that role, Laverne Cox wouldn't have paved the way for other people to be able to, other trans women to be able to be actresses. But it's a negative light. Also was the one, I remember there was another show where it was a trans mother. She transitioned from father to mother. She had a family. I think it was trans. I never saw it before. It's Trans America, trans something, where it was a straight male who, not, I don't even want to say straight, I don't know. It was a male who had a family and who transitioned in front of his family and went through all those ups and downs. That's not my narrative. That's Tracy Lissette was actually in that show. And it was, I think it won a lot of awards, but that's another bad light. Oh, I'm giving up on my family, Trans America. I'm giving up on my family and I'm going to transition and I don't care what anybody says and you're going to have to deal with it. Show it, it's like showing the after effect is showing instead of showing the beginning of the butterfly effect. You get what I'm saying? Not showing how we really are created, how we really coming out, the confusion of being like they try to do it with Jazz Jennings. They try to show a young child transitioning and everything and stuff like that, but that's still not a colored person. It's still not a person of color. I come out to my family, I'm thrown out the house. Nobody's accepting me at home. Show the real story. Show the story where a lot of trans people or LGBT community is not accepted within the home. They literally are thrown out of their house, thrown out of their homes as a child, and nobody cares about them. And their struggle that they have to go through on the streets, eating, living, and understanding what do they do next as young children with nowhere to go and nobody to accept them. Nobody shows that part of the story. So cisgendered people do not understand that because they already come from a, what is it, from a mindset of ignorance. Oh, I wanted to do this or I want to be this. Yeah. Blacks go through so much.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't, the difference between a person of color saying that they're trans and a difference between a person who's not of color saying they're trans, total different dynamics, especially in the hood. And I want to say the hood, the place that they placed us, the place that we have to grow up, the place. So when we're born and we realize at a young age, a lot of people be thinking it happens overnight. Like we just be like, oh, I'm this, which is another ignorance that cisgender people have. No, it's something within us, which we're for myself, I was like, what's going on? I don't understand the dynamics of male and female. I don't understand what people are saying. I don't understand why they're saying that I'm a boy, do this. I don't understand what is a boy. I really don't understand. You're saying, what? Why can't I play double dutch? Why can't I do this? Why can't I look good too? Society starts to throw their own normative on an individual about what they have to wear, what's boy and girl this, and I never understood it. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't understand it even going through junior high school and stuff like that. When I finally came out, I figured out my mind after seeing who I wanted to be. So it wasn't what society kept saying. It was like my brain could not process male, female roles, none of that and stuff like that. I tried to figure out who I was, and it took life experience to understand who I was and how I felt comfortable. And so cisgender people trying to play that role can never understand our heartache, our sorrow, our faith, our because we believe in gods, we believe in spirituality, we believe in good things, and cisgender people would never, and I'm sorry to say this, they would not understand because they come from a place of ignorance because they don't walk the same path. Just plain and simple. They should not play those roles. And
My my biggest issue with the cisgender community is that I hate that they all think that we're trying to replace them. And I'm constantly having to have these weird conversations and saying to them, sweetheart, I'm not trying to replace you. What I'm trying to do is live my authentic life, my life the way that I feel like God put me on this earth to live it. I'm not trying to compete with you. I'm not trying to do what you can do. I'm me. But it's for whatever reason, female cisgender females are very intimidated, and they're intimidated by the fact that most trans girls are so comfortable in their own skin that it makes it makes the world uncomfortable to be around us because we're so comfortable in our own skin. And I don't think that that's our problem. I don't think that we should have to explain to anybody at any given time our happiness, where our happiness comes from. It's not, if you don't get it, you just don't get it. I'm sorry for you, but I'm not going to sit here and dim my light or dim the light that God gave me because you feel intimidated or you feel like I'm not supposed to be here. No, that's just not how I've never operated that way.
I forgot the name of it. It came out during the who said that? Nola Lachey. A movie where there was three trans girls that were basically sugar daddying it up and being trans and living the luxury life for being trans. That's the one you're talking about? And the stereotype of basically we're craft girls or whatever and stuff like that. And I think it was actually one of our fellow um, uh, advocates, our somebody within our community who actually made that film from the fact of the girls that she actually saw. And why is yours so
So I have
blurry?
a question.
Even see your
I have a
face.
question.
Akila,
I have.
can you wipe your camera?
I tried. I think it's my camera is breaking or something. I don't know. I need a new phone. But I have a question for the both of you guys. So speaking on the subject of acceptance, how did you guys feel about it? Did you watch Secret Society?
Yes.
So did you think did you think that it put a good light on trans or girls, or a bad one? Hold on,
What
I'm
is
trying
what
to
is
get this
Secret
camera because
Society? Can
Bianca.
you please give me the synopsis just in case I
I'm
don't know
I'm
anything?
still trying to figure out because they said the role was still played by a cisgender person.
And that's
So,
true.
you know.
What Society is
So
that movie
basically,
that we were just talking about?
no. Secret Society was about two best friends. They were both trans girls, but they were played by cisgender women. And basically, they went around and they was balling the same.
Hustling.
Yeah.
Hustling people, right? Oh, okay, yeah, that's the one. Okay.
One got killed, one lived. I just think it was, once again, that was Hollywood's way of putting a narrative out there of this is what trans girls do, and that's not all of our stories.
But that's what I was
I'm,
saying. I heard that was by one of our peers, one of
It
our who are
it
within the
was.
community who was watching us
Yeah.
and made that movie based off of watching some of us. And that's the part that kind of like it has happened. I did feel like it did show kind of our good parts, but still some of our bad parts. Like it didn't reference us as manly men and made us look, but it was still done by cisgendered women. Um, those were the
I think
two.
the image that it put out though was that
con
um
people.
we're kind
Swindlers.
people,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and a lot of times that doesn't be the case.
Yeah.
You know, some of these girls have relationships with they have like personal relationships with these people that they are getting money from. It's not all about conning people.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that that's Hollywood's way. I think my dilemma is with Hollywood with Hollywood in itself, because they just have a bad way of making us look, and it don't be there for me.
And Hollywood approved it. Not a lot of
Yeah,
films get approved.
that's the
Like Seven is a great producer, director and producer. Seven, Malachi King. He's a great producer. He made a film called Nightfall. He's also the one who wrote Eden's Garden.
Eden's
Um,
Garden.
yeah,
Well,
who has won a lot of awards. But the question is, why is his films not on Netflix, on Prime, or stuff like that? How did that movie get approved to be on World TV or internet and stuff like that? But a producer and director of trans film who is trans don't get anything shown or debuted in
because they
Hollywood.
don't want to. They don't want to publicize us as anything positive.
Yes.
They want to. They're gonna always go with the negative because we don't fit in. We don't fit in with the typical world. If they could put us all in a box and ship us off somewhere, they would. But the
I said
only
that.
problem, that they would have with that is America would fall apart without us.
Yes. We give them that money. We give them that money.
That money, that style, that way.
That
we
brain.
we exude.
We are the most intelligent people.
Yes.
The way we think is so different than the norm. It's just like the world it wouldn't be the same without us. And I'm not saying it because I'm a part. I'm just saying it's because it's the truth.
Yeah, I think we're geniuses.
I honestly was hurt because when Miss Cox came out and she was getting all these awards and everything for her role in Orange is Black, she was overseeing when I don't I can't remember her name right now, but Bruce, when he came out and he started being trans, and he came
Caitlin.
out, it seemed like Caitlin. It seemed like every award was just thrown at her. And I'm sitting up there like, well, Miss Cox just won an award for being a role on TV, one of the first. And it was just like she pushed to the side.
You know why? Because color took a factor. Democratic took another factor. Plain and simple. She's a woman of color trying to better herself, as this is an established Olympic runner from 1960 something who is established, and he's a Republican. She's a Republican. Use my language. She's a Republican, privileged. Exactly. No matter what in society, privilege will always be privilege, and the number one privilege is, unfortunately, Caucasian and male. That takes precedence over everything. Caucasian and male. Then everything else trickles down. To be honest, the next one after Caucasian and male is, and you can say adult male, and then young male. Okay? Young male, baby male. The baby has more rights than us. Okay? Then it's Caucasian and female.
Mm-hmm.
Then it goes down after that. We're like, oh, and the rest of y'all. Sad part is that it is the rest of us after that. She took on a role, but I do want to say that I met her once, and she is humbling. And for somebody to even transition in front of the world like that did take a lot of courage. Mm-hmm. So kudos to her for that. To transition in front of everybody in the entire world, stitches, headbands, FFS, this one over and over, and have already been in a marriage and everything. It did take a lot of strength. Laverne Cox should have got a similar, like, she took an award. Actually, Caitlin took an award from females. I think it was a female award, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that's what privilege and is. Yeah. You know, Laverne Cox does not get recognized enough for anything that she has done. It could be her team. It could be her managing team. It could be her promoting team. It could be her the people not giving her a voice. and advocacy the correct way, or it could be just her. She might not want to take that much attention, but she just wants to do what she enjoys doing, which is entertainment.
Okay, so we did take up a lot of time
Cinnamon
just on
twist.
this ice breaking question, and I know I had 2 topics on our page. We probably only going to get to one. So I guess the one I would pick for tonight is can you
What do y'all
handle?
think about a trans women winning Woman of the Year? That's what Caitlyn won. That was the controversy. Caitlyn won Woman of the Year, and they were upset. She
Yeah.
just became a woman. And it's like,
Now, granted, because it's Caitlyn, I would say no. Now, do I think that there's trans women out there? Now, if just say, for instance, Dominique Jackson, has she got it? I wouldn't have nothing to say. Only because she's put in the work.
she's been a trans woman since she was a teenager. Okay.
I think what Caitlyn thing is, I think Caitlyn came in and I think she was just given to her, and that wasn't no. I agree with the fact. I agree with the fact that a trans woman can win Woman of the Year. Do I agree with Caitlyn getting it? Nah, no.
I'm about to say, what about all these advocates and all that been out here? Why didn't they get an award? Why did she jump ahead of them?
Exactly. But I think that just goes back to America, the America we live in. Instead of, that was their way of saying, we're still not gonna let y'all in, but I give her this award. So
that's what I think too.
So y'all can shut up.
Yasmin said something about trans woman of the year.
Yeah, it was just it was something to shut us up. That's it.
We need our own spaces. Trans woman of the year would be great, but there's still a struggle between trans women doing the debate that we are women. I am Akasha, and I feel that I am a trans woman, and I'm proud to be a trans woman. I am a woman in my own right as in trans. I transitioned to become who I am, and I'm comfortable being a trans woman. When some people try to take on the role of being cisgendered, oh, I'm just like you. I'm nothing like you, and I don't want to be you. I like being me, and I am a feminine aspect of myself. I am a trans woman. I love being me. I love being trans. I love being who I am. And back in the day, eunuchs used to be proud to be who they were. And I always go back to this. Eunuchs were proud to be who they were. They actually were religious leaders. They were leaders. They were protectors. They were advisors since Egyptian times. Why is it that we can't be proud of who we are? Because none of this dresses and everything, we all wore the same outfit back in BC and DC and FBC. Westernized culture has created a format that femininity or alluding beauty is a feminine thing, when that's incorrect. It was created by us, for us, and it trickled down to everybody else. Just say.
I think I agree with you I agree with you 97%. For me, I think that when I wake up in the morning, I feel like a woman. When I go to sleep at night, I feel like a woman. When I'm walking down the street, I feel like a woman. I just, for me, I've never ever thought in my mind that I am a cisgender woman. I know the things that I cannot do that they can do. But you can't sit me. If you sit me next, I wish I could really just see my camera and see how fish I really am, like my mannerisms and everything. But if you sit me next to a cisgender woman and we walking down the street, they're gonna have a hard time figuring out something, because it's all, for me. It's all in how you carry yourself. And I feel like,
where do you think they learned it from? It's unfortunately it's from trans.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's from males. The society that is created today has been created by their male counterparts to be the way that they are. They didn't have, honestly, and back in the day, they didn't have an identity. We created an identity for them.
And we're still doing it to this day. If you pay attention to celebrities, they're doing everything that they see us do. From getting the, from the body to the titties to the face feminization. They like, it's just like, you guys hate us so much, but it's so easy for y'all to copy off of us. Like, it's weird.
I think trans women are beautiful. And that's the
I
thing.
think they are.
When you say
I think
trans, it's trans. And we are a version of our entity of women. You know what I'm saying? We're not obsolete from the category women. We're trans women. We're a whole different special entity. You know what I'm saying? And I like people to acknowledge that, because it doesn't take away from who I am. It doesn't take away from my brains. It doesn't take away from my smarts, and it just identifies me as, I was one thing and I'm another thing, but I'm trans. I'm trans woman. I have nothing wrong with myself, and they should be trans sports, and they should be trans this. I don't need to compete against this one and that one. I like my own people. We could go in the ring together and knock it out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
is
I
that
don't mind.
Shauna?
You know what I'm
Am I
saying?
am I pronouncing that
Like
right?
Ali throwing it up like, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. I'm a trans woman. Let me fight against my own, we do it anyway in our own hood. You know what I'm saying? Woman fight against, trans woman fighting another trans woman.
So I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm very much so a comment person. Shauna, if that's how you pronounce it? We're not answering the questions because they're not questions; they're comments that you're making. I haven't seen a question yet, and I've been looking for one. So when you give us a question, we'll be more than happy to answer. But right now, you're giving us comments, so that answers your question.
All right. I guess you want us to get to the topics of the night.
Okay, that'd be a better because
Oh, we are sitting here
So
comparing
that was just
Caitlyn
it was just
Jenner.
the icebreaker, and then we did take a little longer than expected.
Because she asked a question such as, "How are y'all sitting here comparing Caitlyn Jenner, transformer, a trans?" Well, Caitlyn Jenner is trans. She
she
is a
is.
trans woman of this day. She may have did everything quicker than any other person, but when a person takes HRT for a year, some girls develop faster and some girls develop less. Some girls turn out to beauties and some girls turn out to be whatever. She had the money enough to do it. She is transgendered. At this point, she is a trans woman.
She is.
She
I
has
think
been
she's
trans.
had all her surgeries, hasn't she?
Yes.
I don't know.
She has. I remember her saying it. She broadcast it. She let the world know.
And that's the thing. She is a trans woman. We cannot deny the fact. Now, when she jumped up in it, we were like, how she
Yeah,
did it?
she was Bruce. She was Bruce Saturday and Caitlyn Sunday.
We're not giving her credit. We're giving her flowers. She's a trans woman.
Yeah, I'm not gonna not give a. Okay, if someone comes to me and says that they're trans and that's how they live their life, that's how I'm gonna treat them. She says she's trans. Her name is Caitlyn, and she's a trans woman.
She has had her breast done. She has had her face done 3 times. Any woman, any person who goes through that, and I don't know if anybody's ever gone through FFS, that is excuse my language, it's a biatch. It is not, your breast, anything, you get all that done. It is a struggle. You doing it because you really want to be who you are. We go
Yeah,
through what we go through because we want to be who we are. You cannot take that away from anybody. How quick it happened, that's what she was struggling with all her years. That she said, you can't take that away from her. She is still a trans woman, and that's why we have to give respect to each other. She's still a trans woman. She's older than a lot of other girls now. Her
yeah,
hormones.
she's on real. I'm talking about real old.
Yes, like she's been taking hormones and
Right.
transitioned a long time ago. This is 2010, isn't it?
Yeah, she got to be knocking on 100 now. No.
She's been transitioning for like 10 years, 13 years now. I think it was 2010 is when 2010 or 11, she transitioned. You can't take that right away from her. She did transition. She's older than a lot of us. in transitioning years. She's a trans woman.
No, I wish I had another guy, because like I said, we're gonna start the question off.
Pussy cat.
Yeah. I wish I had another guy to join. Oh, they gonna miss Alexis. They gonna miss Alexis.
Oh, bring my sister on in.
Come on.
And we're gonna start these questions up. But I did wish I had another guy online, but
Hey,
I don't
Hi.
know any guys that want to
Alexis.
jump on.
Hey.
Miss Alexis, let everybody know who
Oh,
you are.
oh, 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 Alexis Conti. Hi, everyone. I'm the reigning Miss D Elegance International from Jackson, Mississippi.
All right, we're gonna start this question off because all the icebreakers are gone.
All
Um,
right.
can you handle your partner wanting or having attention? Now, me personally, I love a girl who wears heels. I love a girl who shows off her body. If it's for me, my eyes only. Who flaunts and everything like that. And I can fight, so I don't mind her being out there dressing the way she wants to dress and being who she wants to be, as long as it is in my eyes. But when it comes down to strangers or her wanting attention from others, that lets me know that it's a problem. Because if that's the case, then that means that I'm not enough for her. Now, what are y'all opinions on your partner wanting or having a lot of attention?
I think for and I don't want to put words in Alexis' mouth, but being that we both like are in the pageantries and stuff, I think that it's safe to say that for me, it comes with the territory. Because I know that with me, entertaining and doing what I do, then I feel like to a certain extent they may feel the same way. If just say if you're with a partner and they see you shining bright like a diamond, and then they get a little piece of that shine too, then it's I think it's only fair. Now, when you feel like you're bigger than the relationship, then it's probably time for me to let you go, because I'm never going to put myself in a position where I'm competing for your love when you are so invested in the world. Sight said, "One shine, both shine." True.
I gotta say something. Most of my relationships fail because I get attention. Even my marriage failed. Um, and I'm not a person who I don't even know. I'm a Gemini, y'all. So when I go outside, I have a whole different personality. I don't know what it is. It takes over me. I don't know Drew. I don't know who's in me, but I know there's two people up in here, and they do what they do. Um, I worked in the clubs for a very long time, and so it's my job to make people happy, to help people be happy. But every relationship that I noticed that I had, it was always about the attention that I was getting. And I wasn't even acknowledging the attention. I couldn't even tell you who's who, where they came from. I know that it was to the point, like I had this my ex-husband, I couldn't go outside. I couldn't go outside. I couldn't go to the corner store. I couldn't go shopping, anything, because the extent of jealousy that comes with you getting attention, and it may not be warranted attention at all. You're not even thinking about it, but from their perspective, they're looking at what's happening, and and you may be like not thinking anything of it, or say you're like, "Hi, how are you? What's going on? Nice to see you. I hope you have a great day." It could turn into something really dangerous. And as I was saying yesterday, I was an abused individual. I was stuck in my house. I felt like a prisoner. I felt like I was arguing over things that I didn't even know was going on. I was made to seem like I was a sexual object just by going outside, and I was drawing an attention that I was having sex with whoever I went outside as soon as I went outside to the corner store to come back just for coffee. That could turn out to be be something very dangerous. Somebody's insecurities about who you are and the attention that you're getting. It should never be about watching what the person, how much attention the person is getting, because it's not about that. It's about trusting your partner to know that your partner loves you. You're doing enough for your partner for them to love you, both in both ways. Y'all are both channeling each other and sharing each other's love and compassion, and is like a best friend to each other. But to put that insecurity onto another person, I think is horrible. And I've not had anything good out of anybody who ever thought that I was getting too much attention. Every relationship that I had, everybody thought I was cheating, and I don't cheat. They all thought I was cheating because I was getting attention, and I didn't even know I was getting attention. I'm oblivious. I'm blind to it. I'm very blind to it. And hi, Seven. I got you on here because we needed another king on here. I was just discussing your films, Hollywood, your films, your movies, your series and stuff. And it'll be great if you could come up here, because I was saying I don't feel like they give you enough opportunities, your films or shows, enough opportunities to be on something like Prime or Netflix and stuff like that. That's Seven King of Seven
Hi,
King
Seven.
Productions. He's
Hello.
the one who's done Eden
Can we
Garden and stuff.
Oh,
Can we bring him on? Because I don't mind coming off so y'all can put him on.
let's
no,
get rid of this this person Shauna. Get rid of
Okay.
them,
She
please.
got to go.
Yeah, she
Yes.
definitely has to go because she's being just disrespectful for no reason.
But that's why everybody's been shading her.
I mean,
Um,
I
And
don't
see,
really
when
care.
it's a
She can,
chop, it's a
yeah.
chop. We try to tell people that. When it's a chop, it's a chop.
Miss Alexis, how do you feel about it?
honestly, and to piggyback off what both of you guys said, and Akila, it mostly because she recalls my last relationship. I actually met my former partner
Oh,
through
okay.
her,
I took it on a flight.
and it was an issue with me and my partner. Um, and not more so of the attention, but how I responded to it and how it appeared that I responded to it. Like she said, we both do pageants. You know,
Oh, okay.
in the South, it's a big thing about when you leave out of your house, you need to emulate exactly who you want people to see you as. So when I go outside, I do my best to have a complete look, like we discussed last night.
Mm-hmm.
And that does draw attention from unwanted viewers a lot of times, and you really can't control that. And my partner understood that, but it was more so how I responded to the attention. And it wasn't one of those things where, I wanted it or I was feeding into it, but I do believe in being respectful to people. But that can also unintentionally encourage unwanted furtherance of that attention, like Akasha said. And there was a time we went out to eat or whatever, and our little waiter or whatever, he was like 16, and you could kind of like really tell that he was infatuated with me or whatever. And my partner at the time was just like, we're just gonna go. I don't even want to eat anymore because the little boy wouldn't get out of my face, and he kept coming to the table unnecessarily and things like that. And we kind of had to have a conversation about it and establish some ground rules. And she also had to make me aware of my body language and what I was giving off, because again, sometimes you can play into things like that unintentionally and be unaware of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it really all comes down to the health of your relationship. If you and your partner can have a healthy conversation about unwanted attention and how you respond to that, that can dictate how far you guys go.
So when you say that, my thing is that it really comes from, like I said, a point of insecurity, and the insecurity has to be dealt with as in that person. That person's insecurity is an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can't change a person unless they want to be changed. But it also takes adulting at that point. It takes an adult. Are you an adult? And if you're in pageantry, you're going to get attention. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when that attention is being reciprocated by the individual who's supposed to care about you, they should be happy for you, not
Mm-hmm.
feel like they're in a competition with you.
Totally.
And I feel like that's what it changes into. Well, I'm not getting that much attention.
Mm-hmm.
That's an issue with that person.
And then I also think that ego plays a part in it too. Like for me, my last situation, my situationship, I think the guy was more so hell bent on trying to prove that he could get just as much attention as I could, and that caused us to fall apart even further because, you know, in my head I'm like, we good, you know, we good, but to him it's like I need her to know that, you know, she's not the only one that's getting the attention,
Mm-hmm.
and it broke us apart completely. Sean, okay, I'm gonna leave that a little bit alone. I, I do not play about my sister though. See, okay.
Honey, you cannot be bothered by individuals who want to compete where they don't compare. That's why I've ignored her comments. I'm not even going to do that. This is not, by answering her and feeding into that, we're taking away from what we're here
I
for.
blocked.
Yeah.
You right.
So,
I blocked
yeah,
her. How can we
we
remove
can
her?
definitely.
I didn't know how to remove her. I blocked her.
Yeah.
It said, "Do you want to block her?" I said, "Yeah." Harassment.
There are way too many people here who actually want to hear what we have to say. So
Yeah.
let's
Yeah, I
focus
do
on
think
them.
that egos play a major part in the breakups in a lot of these relationships, though.
I suffered. I really feel like I suffered. I suffered mentally because I had somebody yelling at me about something I didn't even like knew
Mm-hmm.
or understood, or even like somebody comes to you like this. I saw the way you was looking at that person, and you're like, what person? And you're like, I don't have my glasses on. What person did I look at? I know my eyes wander all over, and but that person takes it seriously, and they're yelling, and you're like literally in the bed to the point like this. I just want to let this go, please. Just let this go. I don't want to talk about this no more. And this person continues and continues to berate you about a circumstance that you had no control over, or you were not indulging in some kind of promiscuity or anything. That person has to go. Any signs of that is a person that unfortunately has to go. That if they can't grow up, it's a part of being an adult. If you're not an adult, that's a kid thing. We as kids, that's when we were acting like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, oh who's that? No. As an adult in a relationship, the only way that you can have a healthy relationship is if you both act like adults. There's no, that is a part about being an adult. Stop being jealous. Stop being
But
insecure.
I think a lot of that stems from, especially a lot of what you just mentioned, stems from not dealing with past relationship trauma or trauma in general. Because those insecurities about your relationship could not even have anything to do with the relationship itself. It could have everything to do with just your experiences and things that you've gone through. And that's why it's so important to take time and heal before you jump into these other things. Take time and examine what you've gone through or why things broke apart the way that they broke apart, so that you can understand how not to go through that again. You can become
Because then,
aware of what part you played in it too, because accountability is everything.
Yep.
When we go through these breakups and things, a lot of times we want to say, well, I left such and such because of this and this, but all of those thises have something to do with that person. What did you do that took place that took precedence over those things, or encouraged those things, or caused
I
this, for that matter? Because actions have a reaction.
In
yeah.
today's society, do you think that people actually take the time out before jumping into another relationship?
Absolutely not.
No.
No, I'm definitely a rebound. I'm definitely a lover of rebounds.
At this point, we can't even call them rebounds because they're like, you've had 12 relationships in a month.
Oh
That's
yeah,
insane to me too.
yeah.
There's no way I'm bringing 6 different men to come meet my mom. That's crazy.
No, I don't do that at all. That
I
no.
was engaged last month. I'm in a relationship this month. Now I'm engaged again. Now we're married. Now we're divorced. And now I have another partner with 3 kids. This is insane.
Exactly.
And
That
you're still having your sneaky links on the side that you want to bring home to mom. Or because you don't want to be lonely at Thanksgiving, you want to bring somebody with you. Like, that's insane to me.
All right, y'all got to get to this last question because it's almost 12 o'clock. And like I said, I was trying to keep the live short tonight.
Okay.
All right. It's the difference between being private and being secret. But what if you find out that you're both? How would you feel?
Hmm.
Um, me personally, and I'm going to say now, speak on who I am now, because in the past, there have been instances for me that I've gone through where we've been private and a secret, and that was acceptable. Now that I'm older, it's unacceptable by any accounts. Once I find out about it, we're going to have a conversation about it, and we're going to do what's necessary to unveil the secrets, or we're going to we're going to break up. Because there's a difference between being private and being a secret. I don't live in a closet, and you're not going to keep me there. And as I
Mm-hmm.
stated last night, um, I don't. That's something we're going to discuss. I'm going to make sure that you're ready for whatever it is that you need to be ready for when dealing with me and my gender and the world. Because a lot of times that's what it comes down to. What you present to the world, and that's why the person wants to keep you a secret. And that's just not for me. And I also feel like if I find out about it, then not only have you been keeping me a secret, you've been keeping things from me. And that can induce a lack of trust. And if I can't trust you, then I don't need you around me. So I'm going to, as an adult, give you the opportunity to rectify the situation. But that's it. If you don't want to rectify the situation, or you tell me you're going to and you don't, that's it. We never have to speak again.
He is not private. He's just ashamed. Mm.
And even with that, that's still something that I'm not going to deal with, because you knew when you approached me, or when I approached you, that you had your own internal struggle. And I'm all down for being with my partner and helping them through whatever they're struggling with, but I can't help you if you're not willing to work through it. And telling lies and trying to cover things up and put it in neat little boxes is not you wanting to work through it. That's you trying to compress and compartmentalize the issue.
Mm-hmm.
my longest relationship was when Facebook wasn't around. I did not advertise, or nobody knew who my partner was. He wasn't even that type of person. He was 10 years older than me, and we were in a relationship for 12 years. And it was a great relationship. And it was a peaceful relationship. I feel like I, I'm gonna be honest. I'm one of those people that try to keep it a secret, and I try to keep it private, only because everybody wants to have. Let me not say everybody. People have a tendency to want what you have, and I didn't
Mm-hmm.
notice that until like you have this platform, and the partner wants the people that are within your circle,
Mm-hmm.
and it started to like I don't trust. My trust factor. I'm not gonna lie. I do not like to advertise who I'm with because their inbox somehow gets flooded. As soon as I say who they are, their inbox gets
Mm-hmm.
flooded. They're flirting. I introduced my girlfriend to somebody. When my back was turned, I'm watching them actually flirting with them. Um, and then they start telling me, oh, this person is doing this against you, but then they're not talking about what they were doing that I was watching them doing. So I don't know how to
Mm-hmm.
trust my friends and my partner in the same room in 2024. or in the same environment or on the same platform in 2024. I want to develop a relationship with somebody that's just between me and that person and not the world. I don't feel like your relationship should be on blast. I feel like you should be building in silence. And when you're at a point in your life where, hey, you want to post up what, like, relationships in the past were built in private. We are a different type of generation where we post everything and stuff like that, the love that we have. Why is it that we can't have the love that we have in secret, sacred to us only? That's all. I have a problem with the private and the secret. I don't want nobody knowing about my lover. I don't want nobody knowing about sex, nothing. I don't want them. I want them to be mine. I don't want them to be. I'll be honest. I'm greedy when it comes down to that. I want my man to be mine. I want my partner to be mine, and I don't want him to be anybody else's. And I don't want anybody to know I'm with them. And I want to say that they don't know anything that's going on with us, and they cannot throw anything about us in our face. Nothing.
So you don't believe that you can have those things
Not
without completely keeping everything a secret? Because I honestly, and just to remark something that you said about your friends and different people in your circle being inside of that person's inbox when you guys went public, I think that's something that you have to evaluate with those people in general, because it may not be that they're actually your friends. You see what I'm saying? Because friends don't do that. Me and Akila were roommates at the time when I met my ex, and through our whole relationship, you could genuinely tell that she was happy that I found somebody who cared about me the way that I cared about them. And we weren't public at all. Hell, nobody knew we were actually dating seriously for 6 months. And like you said, when we did go public and we were on social media and things, there were people who knew me, who were in her inbox and things like that. But she didn't play into that. So I think it kind of comes down to that aspect of it, comes down to the people you're surrounded by. And I think that what you just defined is more so the privacy of it than it being a secret. Because you're entitled to hold those things to you. That is your sacred space.
I think for me, the old me, about 5 years ago me, probably wouldn't have mind being a secret. But the person that I am today, the things that I have built for myself today, would never allow me to be a secret because I know what I bring to the table. Hell, half of the time I bring the table. So I'm not going to allow anybody to put me in a situation where I feel like I'm not good enough for you. If I'm not good enough for you to broadcast, then we don't need to be together. Kind of picking back off of what Alexa was saying earlier. I wouldn't, no, I wouldn't. I know my worth now. I probably didn't know my worth then, but I definitely know it now, to the point where selling is something. Being a secret is something that's off. It's off the table for me. I couldn't and wouldn't do it at this point in my life.
I
Yes.
don't know. I've been heartbroken. I
I think we all probably have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't
we've all felt it.
I don't know how to take into accountability. I don't know. My part about adulting, I could definitely say that I don't know. I don't know. I'm not good with relationships. I feel at this point I'm not a person who can balance personal relationship and what comes with all of that. I don't know. I'm such a person that likes everything to be perfectly aligned, that I don't publicly in that type of way. Like we could go out in we could date publicly, we could go out, we could do things together, but I just don't want my friends involved in any type of way. I don't want them to know nothing about it.
So does that
I feel
so
it.
does it mean you're gonna ever be in a situation where you're truly 100% happy when you can't share your happiness? Like if I was to ever, and me and Alexis say she's in Jackson, I'm in Memphis. At one point she was in Jackson, I was in Atlanta. But if I was to ever find someone who genuinely made me happy, I would rush to tell her, because I just feel like if you're my friend, or you're my sister, I feel like that part of my life you should be able to share with me as well. That piece of happiness, like she was explaining to you earlier, when she found love, I was so happy for her because I knew how much it meant to her. So I think that I understand your frustration with the situation, but I think that you you should be open to sharing that part of your life with your friends. Just have boundaries, because
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to take that away from your friends either. You don't want to take that away from your family either. The part of you that is truly happy with this individual.
I'm
Like
trying.
seeing Alexis happy made me so happy because that's what I wanted for her. So
How,
you don't want to take that away from them.
how do I take my
Do you think
face out? Because I'm about to cry.
do you think a lot of it has to do with maturity though? Because the young ladies of today, it does kind of like run. If they have a partner, they do turn their backs, and their friends are in those inboxes.
You have that goes back to somebody told me the other day.
Can
Somebody
someone?
said that you have to be careful. Somebody said that you have to be careful who you call your friends and who you call your sisters and your family.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
friends come and go. I can honestly say, I can put my money on it. Alexis could leave me and her. I'm not calling names, but Alexis could leave me and her lover in a room, and Alexis know for a fact nothing is gonna happen
Mm-hmm.
because she knew the bond that we had, and vice versa. I could leave my if I had a boyfriend and I left him in the room, fine, because me and Alexis had our bond was so sacred that we didn't have those problems. You have to get to a point where if you don't trust the person 100%, you don't need them in your circle.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree. And like you said, it definitely does come down to maturity,
Mm-hmm.
because like you said, everybody today, these people, these kids today, and the people that came after us are so heavily influenced by the things that they see on TV and in social media and media in general, that it warps their perspective on life, and they think that that's cool or that that's how it's supposed to be, so they have to flow with it. They're looking at JT and Cardi B and all these people like this that have these ups and down relationships or these perfect relationships, and that's just not how life works. And again, as people, like Akila said, friends and family come and go. Because now that I'm older, I understand that just because we are related does not mean that I have to deal with you. I'm not obligated to deal with you because we're family, biological or otherwise. And you as an adult have to take time and sit down and think about these people that you're calling friends.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they your friends? Is the connection genuine? Is this someone I can go to and say, hey, look, this is what I'm going through, and this is what's going on? Or as Akila said, this is my lover. And not have to worry about, well, girl, if I go to the bathroom, I'm not going to come back and she's sucking his dick. I mean, those are real life things that you have to focus on these days with people. A lot of the connections that we as older people now have, these kids won't ever get to experience.
Mm-hmm.
And before we go any further, I do want to congratulate Akasha, because the fact that you can sit here and admit that you have issues with trusting people and with trusting
Uh-huh.
your friends is a big thing. The fact that you can identify your own flaws is a big thing, and that's one step toward alleviating the issue. A lot of people won't even acknowledge that they have these issues or why they have them, and that causes them to lose out on genuine friendships and genuine people, because there are people out there. Me and Akila have been friends, what, 20, almost 20
Yeah.
years now,
Yes, ma'am.
and hell, we've lived together. Because at one point I didn't even have anywhere to go, and Akila was like, "Girl, come on."
Mm-hmm. But it was almost 11 o'clock. And I very much enjoyed this conversation. And hopefully I can catch you all again next week, next Tuesday.
I
Uh,
do want to
Definitely.
the
before you
next
close out. Give
uh,
me 1 second.
the
Before you
next
close
time.
out, I do want to say something to Akasha.
Oh,
Akasha, the fact that you was able to be vulnerable, Alexis know how I am. It warmed my heart. So I want you, if you ever want to talk, or you need someone to talk to, or you need anybody, Alex, I'm sure Alexis is open to it too. Just give me a call. Hit me up, because we got to stick together. We all got to stick together.
I feel like a deer in headlights.
Next week will be how much enough is enough.
Ooh, this should be today.
How much abuse can you take in a relationship?
Are we about to do this?
It'll be on
Okay.
next week's topic. Hopefully I can get a guy up here, because I really want to discuss, do men have grace? Can men cry? Can men be sensitive? Do we even have code words like you ladies do? Live your best life. We can't say that. We can't say that. Okay, without being called soft. So hopefully next week I can get a man up here too to be up here in the chat.
Yeah,
other than
somebody that
do you ladies,
they asked me to.
Ladies want to put your Cash App or anything on? It's up to you guys. Well, ladies.
Definitely.
I'm good.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm good. I just like the fact that you're giving room for these uncomfortable conversations. You're giving room for us to be vulnerable. Like I said, you really touched me, Akasha, because I'm a softie. I really am. So to see you being vulnerable meant a lot to me. And I'm one of those people out there that really feels like we are all we got. Like, I don't understand. I get so pissed off when I see trans girls at each other's throat, because my whole thing is we all we got. Like, we facing enough battles already. We cannot destroy each other.
Right.
So any chance that we get to be there for each other, I think that we should definitely hop on it and take the opportunity.
Yeah, that's a definite.
Definitely.
I love sisterly love. I love all of that, and that's all I ever wanted. Like, since I've been growing up, it's like, why can't I be a family just like my own family, or like the family I grew up in, or the friends that I incorporated since I was in junior high school? Those people I could trust around anybody I'm around. Like, it's unconditional love. But ever since I've been in the LGBT community, it's not been the same at all.
Definitely. And I think it's different everywhere you go, because a lot of me and Akila's experiences are based on what's taking place in the South. Like she said earlier, we're both from Mississippi. So growing up, even though they've changed a lot now, when we came out, those families were families, because a lot of those people didn't have, you couldn't go home.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have any choice but to form those bonds. And once again, just like everything else in our community, times have changed and it's diluted those things. But again, a lot of those people are still out there. And it just takes sometimes you to stick your toe in the water and see what's going on.
Exactly.
Because we're everywhere. And again, Lyric, this is an amazing thing. And I tagged a lot of different people tonight, especially one of our hometown advocates, LaTanya. I'm not sure if she's still on here. She was on here earlier because she was trying to do a podcast similar to this.
Yeah, we need more out here.
Yeah, like, we need to form these connections because they're out there. We just have to take the steps to form them.
Most definitely. I think Miss I keep forgetting her name, and it's crazy because I love her. I just be like, sis. Her podcast was before me around 8:00, and she talked about the ballroom. She talked about the ballroom scene. Shouts out to her. Has a great podcast. Great podcast. Love it. And I Miss Alexis, when you start out with yours, I'm gonna be the first one to watch.
Cause she better start one.
Also, shout out to Denise Infinity. She has attended this podcast a few times. She's also somebody who has a great persona, great ambiance. She also does stuff with Nyambi and Nicole Sonnets. Nicole, the first lady, as we call the first lady. She also tries to drop on the topics, and we should support each other in every type of way that we can
Yeah.
to build each other.
Definitely.
Well, I
If
definitely love you ladies, and I enjoyed this conversation.
it's
And you all have a good night.
nice,
And I will see you Tuesday. Miss Alexis?
Definitely. You
Okay.
definitely will.
Miss Akasha?
yes.
Okay, now, I want my special guest to be you again. Can you make it?
I can make. I won't be at work then.
All right. So next Tuesday, how about we do 9 o'clock?
Works for me.
Sounds
All right.
good.
Akasha,
Yeah, have a good night.
inbox me.
All
Okay,
right.
All right.
definitely.
Yeah.
All
Good
right.
Have a
night,
good
y'all.
night,
Good
and thank
night.
you so much.